Hey, everybody, how you going?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Hey, Red.
Hi, Tom. Brooke. Hi, Carly.
How you going?
You're bouncing.
How's everyone? Hey, Denny.
Karina.
Margaret.
Hey, Margaret. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Carly. I see your name up there
Carly.
as well.
Yeah, that's what I jump in and say hello.
Karina.
Hello, Christian.
Yeah.
There you go, bro.
I'm everywhere.
You are.
Hi, Monique. How are you?
It's good.
Sorry.
Has
Sweet
everyone,
Maggie.
Ow.
share us out, people.
I have. I need one.
Oh, I better share me out.
Oh, I didn't put us on Metaphysical, sorry.
Oh, and why not? Any particular reason?
No.
No, okay, that's fine with me. I'm just asking. I'm just staring. I'm just buying time while I'm sharing me out to other stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll share it out.
Yep.
What
I got to just share it out.
Did you see what Cindy wrote? Said you to Kmart.
I don't know.
Do you reckon they'll accept us?
Thank you, Staffy.
So, has everyone had a good week?
Yes. Peaceful, quiet, clearing, balancing, aligning, and much more.
Yep. Me too.
Mine's just gone like.
So I totally lost it today. But no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No. I just had heaps of stuff on my plate, and you know how you have that balance where stuff comes in, and you can, you know how you can. The only free will you have is to choose how you react. I was like,
Today was to speak your truth. Today was throat chakra energy, blue energy. It was to speak your truth, to express yourself without inhibitions, just to really let it out, whatever it is. Holding it in is not really the best thing we can do. But there are consequences to each action, of course.
but that's good. That's good. It's all part of this earthly experience, being on Earth. Well, I don't know if I've been on any other planets. I guess so, maybe. Yeah. I really thought about it.
We're here, focus here. You know what's happening on the other world.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I didn't do anything.
I sit back here
Yeah.
in the distance.
I cut myself off
I'm not
by
prepared
accident.
for that close. I'm not prepared for. Hi. What are you doing, Brooke?
I need to Tom up the top.
I screwed up.
Did you?
It was me. I was trying to link it, and I jacked it. I've got to link it off of another page.
That doesn't sound like our Tom. I thought you were flawless.
It sounds completely like me.
Like your skin, man. Flawless.
Yeah.
Hey,
who's Glasnost?
He's on
Hi, Tracy.
Twitch.
Oh God. Fucking half exposed.
Glasnost. I think that is maybe someone from the old Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Tells my age.
And we got
Tracy.
Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee.
Tracy.
You know, I can't keep saying Tracy Lee and Tracy this and Tracy that's Tracy. I say Tracy. And
I think we've got about a dozen Tracys.
And each one of them are very, very, very special.
Hey, you speak to yourself, Cindy. Some of us like when Carly bounces.
I'm just going to make sure that I'm covered.
You got your bits covered.
We got like almost 3 minutes in without getting creepy. But
I had to start it. Cindy made a comment. So, not my fault.
No, but also I think with you flipping the screens around also.
Yeah.
I think that's more what she's saying.
Oh, yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
probably.
interesting.
Not really. We know exactly what's going on there. But that's all right. Yeah. So, anyone?
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if anyone had any weird experiences this week that they want to talk about. Anything weird happen? Anything cool?
Yeah. I wish Penny was on here, but I had one where, and another thing, we were doing a live, and it was like a class thing, and we did like a 20-minute, over a 20-minute. We talked Carly. We did a 20-minute thing, and I did this OD'd on this tea. You know, I can't think of the name of it right now, and it's supposed to help you. And I went to different places around the earth. You know, I've got a really good sense of geography. Anyway, I took Penny with me, and Penny absolutely freaked out because she said she wanted to see its past lives, and she saw past lives, and we saw things in ancient Egypt, the American Southwest, Greece, and a few other little places. You know, I saw a bunch of it, and I also saw like a past life place in time with dear old Brooke there, and he looked a lot like he does now.
He does, doesn't he? In his past, he hasn't actually changed much.
Yeah. And you know, he had the face, and he was like, you know, and I also look much like that. I think he's got me killed. I think he's done that in numerous lives.
What do you blame me? I told you, eyes up, they're coming, and you didn't listen, did you? You're like, oh, my fucking buckle.
You are the same. You are still the same person that did kill him. It's just that you don't remember it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it seems a bit dodgy to me. That's it. I want to do over on the past life therapy.
Oh yeah,
Now look, you know, it was two vehicles. All it was two vehicles that you used to actually play chicken with. You know, one of the others going to win.
Yeah.
So that's what it was at the time.
I can see that. Yeah.
I look very similar. Like I've done I keep getting shown this same past life where I'm a witch and I'm escaping on a horse trying to get out. And I look very similar. Like I pretty much look like me in a cloak.
We all do.
Yeah.
The driver of the vehicle pretty much stays to the same type of vehicle and has the same. Yeah, there's features are different, but we would look not much different to what we are back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there's a lot to do with our surroundings and the time itself, and we do change, but we're not. We would notice ourselves, and we would recognize ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting if we could get it up on a TV screen and just watch it. You know, like a shorts, a 2-hour movie.
The way I've seen it looks pretty real. Like me just riding off on a horse and get my throat slit.
Cindy, when you're ready to have a talk, I'll find out.
I had one past life where I was in England being hung. I got caught for something. I think I was trying to overthrow. I was against the forces that be, like the government.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And I was on the I was on the gallows, and I was on the gallows, and I could just smell. It was like in England, just the stone walls, and I could just smell shit, and mud. And then I was in an olive dress, and I looked down, and I was like cleavage, and I was like, nice. then the gallows went down. Then the gallows went down, and as with the knapsacks, I just kept falling through and came out of the past life. But I was actually on a chat and where people were talking about past lives, and I put that up. I mentioned someone was saying something. I mentioned that, and I said, "Has anyone ever looked down and gone nice?" And then just the chat just went nuts. Everyone's like, "Yeah, I had a past life, but this happened." And I looked and I was like, "Damn." I mean, when you think
get to
about
do that
it,
every day. Yes.
I had a lady walk up to me years ago. A stranger, didn't know her, walks up to me and says, "I know you." you destroyed Atlantis. Out of the blue, just like that, a complete stranger. I just, I just looked at her. I wasn't even on that focus at that stage. She told me her story, what she saw, and why she said what she said. And then she went and got me this crystal. It was the tanned one. I can't remember what it's called. I don't have it any longer. She gave me a crystal. It had all these golden threads in it and so forth. And she goes, yeah, it was one of those things that you used to do the destruction.
Huh.
Well,
did you go, it wasn't me?
Well, you know,
It probably was. It probably was Staffy.
I actually do want to say it was not me, but every time I try to bring it out and say no, it's not. So there's this thing that just stops me from accepting.
So you know,
I think it was a group thing. It's my understanding that destroyed it. A group energy.
It is
a group
yes,
energy.
It was a group.
A
what
group of
occurred,
people, and you were part of it.
What I keep getting from it is that at that time the negative energy or the denser energy was coming in. It was starting to build up around us. There was a bubble that we lived in, if you like, a particular frequency. The density started to get stronger and heavier. As the density was coming in, there was that point where the decision was made to allow it to just take over. We slipped out of that frequency, and we are in this frequency today. What is
That
the
happened.
frequency?
That happened. What is it? Maria, the place of the Pacific, Lemuria.
Lemuria, yes, Lemuria.
Something similar happened there.
Yes, it did. Lemuria was before. They're not much difference, and they're not much different in time space as well. But again, they both existed on a frequency at that time. There's a lot more than those. That's just pretty much the information that's been released. You can go further back than that, and there's always been somewhere to go back to. There's no limitations. Whatever your mind, pretty much whatever your mind can think, and as far back as you can think, and try not thinking with what you know, you'll see that there's no, when you hear there's no time, you have to go past that knowledge of what time is to be able to see without a boundary, without limits to what it could possibly be.
I would do with Egypt as well, and I was told by a very good English medium. I'm replying to Maggie. I think a lot of us here right now, we're in Egypt. And I think, like, Brooke got me involved with this out of the blue. I think he's got me involved with a lot of shit over the years, that kind of ended up with bad results.
Egypt, yes, but the period of Egypt was not the same for all of us. We were in Egypt at different stages. Some of us did not actually cross paths during that stage. Mm-hmm. Further along, we've all come across each other, and we've pretty much experienced the same places, different times. But the knowledge itself of the time itself still exists within us.
I don't believe I was there for the real ancient part. I think I came later, and I was there supposedly with my grandpa, and I actually had a visualization. I don't know if I should share, since I've already been censored by Brooke. I think I was a bit of a wild one back then.
I think that's more. I wouldn't be focusing too much on that aspect of it because you're a little bit off on the time period and what you're observing. What you're observing is exactly that, something that you were able to observe.
Okay. That actually makes sense. I saw a face with a guy, Mirth, laughing. That might actually felt like my grandfather more than me.
It's yes, it's something you have observed, but not necessarily your time itself.
Okay.
It could be like an Akashic record type, just
Yeah, I think
view.
I get bits and pieces, and I did not want to see. I remember the first time was when I was 20. I didn't want to see that, and I think I had it earlier as a child. But it's not. I don't really freak on that psychic phenomena because it's not, to me. It's not important as much as it was, unless it has a direct impact on what I'm working through today. You know, I don't need to see it for some entertainment value.
It's not to look into past lives. It's not a matter of looking into what you consider to be a past life. It's that which has experienced the past life itself, that has the knowledge that you speak of. It itself knows what its experiences are. You speak of Akashic records. Forgets what you know to know what you know. The Akashic records is you that has experienced all these timelines. That's the point where you began to the point where you are. You have all of that within you. Not only that, every aspect that exists around us and everybody around us, everything that they've experienced, everyone and every existence before this moment is accessible to everyone. Just don't think that you can access it and acknowledge that you are accessing it as you speak. No.
And I've had that feeling. It's very real, particularly a timeline or a place that I can visualize as it was. But that might not be my actual memory. That may be me, myself in another form, you know?
When we start to look at the words themselves and what they're truly meaning, look into the word memory and research the words themselves as you use them. What does memory truly represent? You have an idea of what memory is. To access memory as we do, acknowledging that we are able to access this thing called memory, research the word, understand it from its origin to why we use the word memory and why, how it's associated to us itself directly and not in the manner that we have been told it is. There's a lot more in it. We speak of time itself, but it's at this moment right now as it's unfolding that we're able to see behind us of what we've experienced. That itself is the memory. The blockages that we have to access that point is the belief that we have had past lives. So if we believe we have past lives, there's a boundary each time we've come into life. We've had many experiences, so changing the thought process that we have experienced a different timeline. That brings us back to remembering, if you would like, that time that we have experienced instead of what we believe we have lived at that time. Past lives represents death. Experiences represents experiences and nothing to do with what we understand death. That way we open ourselves up to receive a little bit more easier.
Oh, did you see that comment from Dash, Brooke?
Yep.
The next one?
Yep.
Oh, that's always nice
Thank
to
you,
hear
Dash.
stuff like that. Thank you, Dash.
That's it. It's just
I'm beginning to understand that it's not like I kind of think of things as this, you know, you're accessing a different space, but it's just where your awareness is, you know, rather than having that open awareness. And I start to begin to understand what he's saying, because I thought it was like blocks of pictures, or I've heard it described as a book, and I think what those are just images so our human mind can understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that we're comfortable with. Like the higher I notice that description I've heard from people that are, they see things in an entirely different light than people like in a lower level, you know. So I'm beginning to understand what he's saying.
Awareness is something that we can observe, and when we acknowledge that we can observe this thing called awareness, what we do then is use this thing called focus. We can focus at a point in this awareness the thing we call awareness. This awareness itself contains that which we seek. It's a understanding that we've been so well conditioned to focus on what has been wanted to be focused on, that we do have blinkers on. The moment we can acknowledge at this moment right now that everything that we can see before us is unfolding at the same moment, not in stages. It's always constant. It's always one flow. It's one picture. We put our focus on the particular point of that picture. When you can see the picture completely as a whole, the story to the picture changes because we're not focusing on one point of that picture. We're seeing it complete now. We learn to remove the blinkers slowly by acknowledging that everything is at the same time happening right this moment as it is, and accepting it. What can you change other than the way that you react to what you're observing?
Well, everything is a singularity, they say in quantum physics. I'm glad that helped.
I love the look on Carly's face.
Well, no, I'm just saying we can't change anything apart from how we react.
And your hair.
That's right.
Don't go
Oh,
over my hair. Ooh, you're getting more.
Purple hair. Yeah.
What color is it?
Blue.
I thought it was purple before. I think it's changing.
No, I got a few colors. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's kind of
guys,
purple from the background.
yeah, it's just the reflection of the. I'm up in the hills at the moment.
That's over LA. That's over
It's just
LA.
yeah, and you watch this sun.
Over the valley. It's over the valley. Yeah, LA. Flown in there a few times.
So, what's that, Margaret? You had an interesting thing happen.
Sounds like you went to another, if not another dimension, you were aware of another complete, world somewhere.
Or you fell asleep during a movie. No? Okay. So
He's a peacock.
he's a peacock. Who said that? Who said that? Where are they? Where are
Put
you?
it up. Karina Jane did, of course.
My God.
He's got a background. Change your background. He can put a background. Oh, we got the major.
Is that the city of Adelaide?
That's your background. No, that's actually, I believe that's a famous shot of LA, of the suburbs of LA going out taken from a hill.
Kind of looks like how Adelaide looks at night when you go up the that road.
I think that's from the Hollywood Hills or something. I don't remember. It's a very famous shot that's been around for years.
You could almost say, look, there's a rock in the back. Or maybe it's NT.
Is that better?
There'd only be 4 buildings. Oh, yeah, Adelaide's pretty big.
We were
when you look at
talking
it at
about
night.
a lot of people have been, like we were talking with Penny, and quite a few people have been experiencing ascension symptoms. I've been going through some stuff too. The good thing about me is I'm kind of dense and comatose, so it's not as intense as it is for a lot of people that are opening up right now. It's similar to what I believe I experienced 42 years ago,
How do we define ascension?
People feel like they're losing their minds because they're losing their reference point to the current reality. Feel like they're going through portals and things and experiencing energies and visions and intense things. A lot of, and it's not just 1 or 2 people, but there are several people that seem to be going through this. Tracy was talking about something she'd experienced a while back.
Okay. Because I guess the only reference point would be to pull yourself into the now, back to focus in the moment. Does that make sense? No?
But a lot of folks, and boy, do I get that, feel like they're losing their minds because they're losing their social construct of what reality is. And I so get it. You know what I mean? I so get it. We were talking about it last night, weren't we, Carly, in that little, when we were talking with Penny this morning, your morning, my night.
But isn't that just a shift in perception of reality? Reality's not, like as we learn, we take on more information. We learn.
I think
That
they're
things are
just
different.
becoming more aware of energies and everything that's happening around them, and it's become a bit overwhelming. So they, like you said, need to pull back into present ground and just
The way
yeah.
someone very sensitive like Penny is, it's like one bomb after another that just hits her and she opens. And hopefully she's out driving right now, which is really not safe for she's at South Africa. But hopefully she'll be able to come on and talk a little bit. She and I took that journey, around the earth a couple times and became aware of different timelines and different faces and locales and things as they looked then. It was pretty freaky. I just saw it. She had all these experiences because she asked for it, And well, she told you the story last night,
Mm.
And you told her Tracy, she entered a portal. She went to these people's house and it was like she entered a portal and she felt these negative entities watching her or something there, and it scared her and she just shook all over inside and then had to run out, and her car alarm started going off in her car, like her low fuel and different things were going off, and she got back and got out of the area and the alarm just quit. So
Gremlins.
I think there are a lot of energies going on right now, and in a place like where she's at, where they're having a lot of bad energy and social upheaval, and it's kind of happening in the States too in a different way.
Then how much?
Suddenly you become aware of it, I believe.
Dash,
Holy Spirit?
What makes you scared of it? Is it because you're not it's new to you, or does it give off a scare? Does it give off a bad energy to you?
Because sometimes
it's just our fear of not knowing.
Yep.
It's different. It's different, and it's outside my reality and the social construct I've been taught from birth, even though I never really was part of it, is what is supposed to be the shared reality. It's outside the shared reality I believe that I'm supposed to be experiencing at this time.
You can always ask it to leave.
Yep. There's heaps of things you can do.
We're soul. We've been through so many lifetimes. This is.
If you go onto YouTube and type in "how do I get rid of unwanted spirits," and find something that you can try, because we've all had experiences and there's all sorts of ways that you can get rid of stuff.
Press Sage and ask him to leave.
Correct.
Yep, Sage works good. First-hand experience.
It does. If you're ready, though,
Sorry.
when you're ready to understand what it is, you'll understand that it's your own fear that you're afraid of.
Mm.
The spirits that you're speaking about, so don't worry about them. Concern yourself about the fear that you're holding of the unknown.
Mm.
Yep. Because Dash, I had this one incident when I was at my house and I felt something watching, and I felt to go down my hallway, and there was a dark room, and I felt that there's something in there watching me. Anyway,
Karina,
so
sorry.
I had to choose, Dash, to either be afraid of it or try to conquer my fear. And I actually walked into the room. And in the back of my head, I'm like, as soon as I walk in the room, I bet that fucking door's going to close behind me, and boom, and I'm in the dark room. That's what comes. That's what comes into your head. And I walked into the room, and I could feel it just close, all my hair standing up. And I said, "Who are you? What do you want?" And it didn't answer me. But I chose to, if you get that feeling in the back of your head, quick, run like the fucking wind. Maybe run like the wind. It's up to you.
Oh, no. I reckon that is also fear. The fear of it's a ghost. What we've been told, a
The
spirit,
social
ghost,
construct.
scary, they're here to kill us, they're here to haunt us. It's all that. It's that fear. You got to work out between a negative energy and your own fear.
Yep.
Our social construct of the church from early medieval and dark age times, you know, they create a reality around things like that we need to be protected by the organization of the church or whatever, you know, from these horrible things out there.
If we work with words being energy, what we read and the stories that we read, we create the thoughts then with those words based on the energy itself. It creates a reality within our mind to what we believe these words represent. And then when we experience something, we use those words to associate it. That's the point of the mistake, because we're still using our educated knowledge and what we've been told. To understand how words work and how we associate them, once we remove ourselves from the associated word and experience something without believing it's supposed to be A or B, and then we can learn whatever it is that we require at that moment from whatever it might be. It is our thoughts that will prevent us, or will create the idea that it is something to fear or something to embrace. It doesn't matter what it is, it's an energy. We're experiencing a particular energy at this moment. What is it? Well, let's find out.
I don't seem to have this fear of negative spirits and, you know, dark forces. I just don't want to go there. I don't want to have that fear, so I don't believe that I should fear them. I mean, yes, there are probably negative energies that can attach to us, but, you know, I just don't want to put myself in that fear, because fear attracts fear. Well, fear attracts, you know what I mean? If I fear it, I'll attract it.
When we start to speak about negative and positive energies, so we have to use the negative and a positive. But when we speak of density, what we experience is a particular density of energy. It's a different energy to what we are. That energy over time, because we have been told that, you know, let's use one particular energy, and the one I'm going to use is anger. It is an energy. It is a word itself. We don't know what anger is. We have an association to what this thing is based on what we've been told. We are experiencing this word. We're experiencing the particular energy. It is a denser energy than what we are. We don't acknowledge it to be an energy or an entity. We claim that it's us. So the moment we say, I am angry, well, you know, I am experiencing, we're not really experiencing it because we don't acknowledge the experience. The moment we can say, I'm experiencing anger, or I feel anger, now we can separate ourselves from this particular energy and acknowledge, okay, well, I'm not angry, but I can feel it. So we've separated it. It is denser to what we are. And because it's denser, we acknowledge it now. It acknowledges us that we've acknowledged it. It doesn't require to be experienced any longer, because now we've experienced it.
It was just like Brooke was talking about last week when he's in certain areas. He talked about it when he's in certain places. All of a sudden, he'll be angry and have all these negative thoughts and feelings. When he stays in the same place, it kept happening again and again. And he realized he was picking up the energy that was there. And I've had that picking up from people and things around. And in my mind goes in these ugly places, and I realize that I'm either picking something up or I'm amplifying something that's there a lot of times. Like, where did that come from? And the same thing with fear.
We are creating it. Remember, to be in the present moment, to acknowledge oneself that one is actually experiencing these things that we call energies, and the words that we put to them are feelings. We don't know what they are. We believe that they are a particular thing based on what we've been told. They're energies. So we require to put ourselves into that point of we are experiencing this energy. We are not what we're experiencing. We come along, we're born, we go to school, we learn. They tell us what things are, and we just go about doing what we've been told. We don't think about it. So we believe that we are angry, we believe we are this or we are that. The moment we can put ourselves into the point of being able to observe what we have believed that we were, and acknowledge that we're in the moment of, well, acknowledging that we're believing. We're not a belief anymore because we cannot be what we're acknowledging. So that's where we acknowledge.
Sorry, Steffi. What are you? Why are you feeling scared? You're angering him.
Probably a lot of the stuff he does angers a lot of different energies.
He's getting annoyed because he wants to accept that it's something else other than himself. So I really don't care.
Staffy's, I don't have it very often, but Staffy's consciousness is beyond the space that you see him in right now.
So, Dash, just sage the crap out of your house.
And
there's also a button. There's an X button as well, which you can exit.
Hey, Darlene, how you going? No, this is not
you
a
stopped
donate.
seeing unicorn? I haven't stopped seeing unicorns.
Mixed with Prozac, I've stopped seeing unicorns at least. You said that unicorns were nasty boogers, right there?
That's what I heard, man. They're nasty basties.
No, they're not.
Man, imagine if you were you're a big bloke stallion and you got like a horn, and what do you think that's for? That's for stabbing. That's for stabbing other unicorns' eyes out. Right in the gut.
So you can get.
You know,
so you can get all the other unicorn ladies.
Have you know, like the Bug's Life? You got the ladybug, but it's a bloke, and he's just aggro because he's like, man, everyone calls me a bloody lady.
Yep.
Obviously, he has identity issues. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're not doing readings in this. This is just like a talk show, kind of where we discuss things. So there's no readings in this.
No donations.
They are not.
This is not for that.
Back. I love my unicorns. Yeah. What was that post about? What were you saying about the unicorns and something? I'm like, but I want unicorns.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure the horses and the zebras got together and said, "Let's get rid of those nasty pasties."
I think so.
We're out of here.
I had when I had an angelic healing from. Yeah. Okay. When I had an angelic healing, like the first one from Tracy, I actually saw the unicorns burning. Like this forest, there was a forest fire, and the unicorns were burning and dying, and I had that realization of it was almost like, oh, that's how they became extinct. Like I wasn't fearful. I wasn't.
Just, I got this picture, and it's going around like a candle on its head.
No, they were like laying on the ground. They were dying, and unfortunately, they were burning. I wasn't horrified. Like it wasn't gory. It wasn't. It was just like a realization of, oh, so that's how they became extinct.
It's a horse rhino dipped in glitter. Put up Karina Jane's comment there.
It's a zebra cross horse rhino dipped in glitter. Yay! So like, you know, I don't know why I was discussing that. I just completely lost track. Who is the man on the bottom left? That is Staffy. He is very aware to everything that, you know, very awakened, very, yeah.
He's been doing this stuff for a long time. He'll be back soon.
He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of knowledge in there.
It's taken him a while. He sometimes needs to go and deal with things.
Or probably make a coffee.
But a lot of times he felt the negative energy
right now.
He felt the negative energy come in, and he needed to. Sometimes he'll deal with it.
Yeah, and then the conversation went from the deeping meaningful of life into unicorn farts.
Oh, thank you, remote. Thank you, remote. I'm going to go make myself a coffee.
It was funny before we did the live last week when her dog farted loudly, and we blamed it on her, or I did.
Or it snores.
Yeah. Jeez. I love her, man. I love all of the Australian ladies. They're just,
Oh yeah.
gosh, they're so.
Well, man, yeah,
Look
just,
at Karina.
yeah, mate. They don't hold back. They're just straight out there, keep it real. I mean, this is Australia. We just, it's an Aussie tradition to stare the crap out of everyone just for fun. Like not nasty pasty, just like take the mickey out of life. It keeps us sane.
You see the Sphinx back there? You see the like holes and around its nose is gone? That's because Napoleon, if you know anything about Napoleonic wars and stuff, Napoleon actually invaded there and they had the Battle of the Nile and all that with the British. But his artillery used its nose for target practice and blew its nose off sometime around 1790 something.
Okay, I just thought they were just trying to get
History.
the Voldemort look.
No, it's history. Just history.
Not Voldemort, Harry Potter joke. Oh.
But a lot of us are going through a lot, and it's scaring us, and I understand that. And I like calling things as Holy Spirit or the act or the universe, the universal spirit that's coming through. But there are many different channels, and there's an ascension. There's an awareness, and I call it a bringing to the light. Staffy likes a different. He doesn't see that as a light. Because he experiences it from another level. But I think those of us, I had a life between life readings, and with my higher self, I went through a hypnotherapy session, and I called it the light. And I think that for some of us, that's how we experience it. That's how we experience the golden light and the golden love that we share. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the thing when you go back into, even translations of the Bible, and ancient texts, a lot of when people talk about God or, heaven, along the whole stuff is there. It basically translates into the cosmos, to all their. So when people are going God, whatever you want to identify that to, it's all one and the same. We all have some people call it God, some people call it source energy, some people call it the Holy Spirit, some people call it the Force. Whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't. We always get so hung up on putting everything in a box and giving it identifying it for just. To satisfy our own egos, and we just got to accept that.
Can I answer a question from Jacob? Oh no, I grew up in a Pentecostal church. America is what traditionally has been I'm 70 years old. I grew up in a very we said prayer in schools in the morning, and no, there's a very small portion. Some people that came from foreign countries, like my first wife, the Korean, she was nominally Buddhist, but no, we're primarily Judeo-Christian, and some of it's very conservative, but that's breaking down. The traditional churches are not big. Some of the little bit more fundamentalist ones are expanding and growing, but they're kind of contracting now too. We're no longer a nation of majority churchgoers. I live out in a rural area, and it's still pretty much social construct. The moral standard here is basically fairly conservative Christian, and particularly some of your rural and southern areas are still like that. But over 40% of the United States, and I think it's actually over 50 now, believe in reincarnation, even though they try to hold on to being Catholic or something else, just due to their experience and because it's starting to come into the culture. And just like with me, when I was fairly young, nothing else made any sense. I was raised in just did not make any sense. How does it make sense that things are like this? It just, even as a child, it didn't make any sense. So I'm done babbling.
Yeah, no, it does. It seems a bit narrow when you get into religion. I mean, when I did my time in a Pentecostal church too, and studied theology. But when you look at all across, Buddhism and Christianity, and spirit, when you become spiritual awareness or whatever, is everyone's talking about the same thing: connection to God or connection to source energy, or just becoming one. But it's, when we have to divide it into classes, we have to divide it into groups, and we had to segregate. That's where the problem is. It's like, it's happening less and less now. I love it that more people are starting to come together on just like, on everything. You got a new hat, man. Look at, who are you trying to impress, Tom? Look at that, man. That's a clean hat. I've never seen you with such a clean hat. Man.
Hey, I don't have the one that I haven't washed. It's like salt soaked all the way through, that I wear when I go out and do stuff.
Yep. Carly, you got something stuck to your chin. Just there. Scratch it off.
Yeah, Dash. I wonder if you're messing with us a little bit there.
Yeah. Well, if you being here is causing that anger somewhere else, then maybe you're not meant to be here. I don't know, but we aren't any threat to anyone. All we're here to do is basically help people, have fun. So it's your choice whether you want to stay or not.
Dash, that's not true, mate. Come on. Be cool, please, and respectful. 5 golden stars. Just 5 golden stars.
Yeah, it's American Legion hat, that I got from being.
Okay.
Hey, Mel.
Hey, Mel.
What is it?
Sorry, I did see your message come through.
Whoa.
Haven't got it yet.
Boy, my third eye just went. Geez.
It's going to be the hat, man. That's it. Got the star there.
That thing looks really hideous.
What?
Why? It's like a full Top Gun style hat.
It is. It actually has got a bunch of stuff on it. It's from the American Legion. I don't like a lot of their things.
Yep.
Why? I don't know anything about it.
Oh, some energies coming in, Karina.
Oh, Dash, come on.
Yeah.
I like unicorns.
I like paying out unicorns because all the girls get upset. Just triggers them.
McPhee incorrect. What was that about?
McPhee.
Yeah, who is Rafki? That's what I'm about to Google.
It's some spirit around his house or something. I don't know. That's what he says.
It's from the Lion King.
Ah, really? Okay.
The monkey, the baboon.
They're not. We don't do readings on this show, and we don't take donations. That's not what we do here.
Yeah, sorry. This is just a talk show.
Or we could.
What?
If you want to link some of
no, we could start taking. We could start taking donations so Tom can have a new hat every week. Why not?
I've actually got some. Hey, I'll change you another new one.
You will. What arises? Oh
my God, mate! It must be pay week, man. He's splurging. Look at all these hats. Fuck,
Yeah.
What is that?
That was. I was in EOD. I was in bomb disposal, and that's the symbol for it. This is actually what they wear, like FBI hats and stuff, when they're out working.
I thought, does it have something? Bomb disposal would it have something on the back, like if you see me running, quick follow, or something like that?
No, actually.
G'day, Karen. How you going?
I think actually the word for it was. The saying logo, the logo saying for it is complete success or utter failure. Catastrophic failure. Meaning
looks
you got
like his name's
blown away, and that's pretty much the way it was. I was cool group, bunch of guys. I was really proud to have served with them. Long time ago, like 50 years ago now.
If you want to come
Karen, bring Karen in. You can't come in, Karen. Oh.
Hi, Karen.
I sent her. Karen is amazing connection to Sparrow.
Having Joan and Karen on the other week was just like I was just sitting there, just like.
They sent you a link if you'd like to come on, Karen. Are you unable?
The Rev Australia is a one-party safe, and they're like.
Yeah, send her the link. She knows the deal. She'll pop up on the screen.
Australia is no different than the United States. I'm not even going to go into it because I got in trouble last night.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure we're a lot cooler.
No. Hi, Beth.
I leave it. I wouldn't concern too much.
Yeah.
Don't put the focus on. Let him be.
Yeah.
Continue.
Hey Emma, how are you going? G'day, Beth.
What like little plant? Oh, next time, plant. Karen. Next time.
Yeah.
So what are we up
Karen
to?
Say? Is she too busy?
Yeah, she can't today.
Okay. She's working. Sometimes she's able to do it at work.
It's not that time. She just didn't like the hat.
She just wants a different hat on today.
The black hat.
Maybe I better get a hat. Should I get a hat on?
I can go without a hat.
Oh, Sarah Joyce. Sorry, we've got people from YouTube watching as well. And so you'll only see the people on Facebook commenting, and then like all the people on YouTube can only see the YouTubers, all the Twitch people can only see the Twitchers. So yeah, it's just unfortunately it doesn't meld them all for you guys, only for us.
I will look into this week. I'm on holidays this week, and I'll be looking at software that it'll come up.
Oh.
I have to play around with that. Across all platforms will come up on the screen.
Oh wow!
So instead of watching us like that on your phone, and then down there you'll be able to turn it that way, and it'll just come up all on the screen.
Yeah, he's on holidays.
Yep.
So he's going to come up for a cuppa, maybe.
Not tomorrow. I got to fix my brakes.
No. Yeah, not tomorrow.
And then I got to fix cars.
Yeah. Like when you're free.
Yeah, I made a big mistake. I bought a Holden and a Ford. Now I got to fix them. Now I got to fix them both.
Well, fix a repair daily and just barely hold them together. So
Pretty much. That's it. I think I'm going to get a Camry next. That's it.
What? A Camry?
Yeah, a Camry. Just go. Well, Mitsubishi are good. They made all the wall parts. Yeah, Mitsubishi. They used to make battle class cruisers and warplanes.
Yeah. My grandpa had a dog called Bishy, and he was what kind of dog was he? But we used to call him Mr. Bishy. So Mitsubishi, Mr. Bishy. Yeah. It was really funny at the time.
Are there any other comments?
What?
A Camry.
Yeah, look, my little Corolla she's holding together. Brooke serviced her for me. Now I've got to go get 4 new tires before I get pulled over or crash.
It's her missing. Man, Korean cars, things have changed since I was in that country. Of course, that was almost 50 years ago.
Oh, come on, man. You're an American. I thought you said, I remember when we bombed the shit out of that country. I mean, can't Americans say that about most countries?
Better sending cruise missiles over mountains, Adam.
Trust the Mitsubishi. Mine's a 2000
Oh, yeah. A lot of them. We have rust here.
203.
With all the snow here, they put salt on the roads and it just corrodes vehicles like crazy. You go down the south part of the country where they don't use salt and they last forever. People be running around in the 70s. I call the high undies. Anybody have any questions?
You get a new car.
Here's the reason we started this. There are all these mediums and psychic reader shows and intuitive guides and card pulls and things. And we kind of fell into it by accident, but Brooke and I wanted to give a forum for different people to talk about their spiritual experiences, talk about how their awareness changed, and to give a forum for people to bring things up. So if you've got a comment or something, you're more than welcome to bring
Or
it.
you want to know? Or you want to know about something? Just let us know.
Whether and you take away what resonates, what's
Very
working
good
for you.
question, Cindy. Can we get Cindy's question?
Yeah.
Because I think that is relevant to everyone.
Yes.
Today I was all over the shop. Today I was like, and I had to put my phone away and just.
Yes.
I had to jump in the shower and ground.
A long one.
Was that the question?
That's the question,
Yeah.
apparently. How do I stay in the now and not let others affect me?
Okay. How about you take this? I'll be back.
Starters,
getting
not letting
Affect
others affect you is the beginning of being present, being in the now. If you're focusing on what your thoughts are or what others are thinking, you're not actually present. Although stating that you cannot actually be outside of the present moment, you cannot be out of this moment right now. You can think you are, and that's all you're doing is thinking you're outside of this moment. And that's where you can work with, well, what is your thinking? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about something other than observing? Because if you're thinking and not observing, you're somewhere else, you're somewhere in your head. What is happening in front of you? Be observant of what is occurring right now in front of you, not what is happening in your head. Not about what happened yesterday or the minutes before, not what happened 5 minutes ago. What is occurring right now? Forget about what could happen tomorrow because there's so many possibilities to tomorrow. So it's knowing that you are right now in the present moment, and you're the only one that is allowing anything that comes into your mind to affect you. You entertain that thought. No one else is doing it. But being aware that that's what you're doing is being in the present moment, because that's the only time you can truly do that.
I pick up things, like particularly through my sacral chakra, different parts of me. Sometimes I pick up emotions and feelings, and I have to try to sort out whether it's mine or not and just go ahead and feel it and let it pass through. You know, what I do is I try to focus on it or try to run away from it or create more problems, like I pick up fears or just discomfort. And I think it's from all the damage I did to myself over the years, you know, and my alignment and everything, and whether I have protected my own spiritual space. That's my belief, what I experience.
And that is what we do. We believe. Right now is what, speaking of now and being present, right now, that's not occurring. That's your thought. That's what you're entertaining, that belief in the manner that you experienced it. But that's not actually occurring right this moment. The only true thing that is occurring right this moment is you're listening to me speaking and I'm speaking. Other than that, it's all in our mind. So we can project about, you know, we could be doing something other than what we're doing, but we're not. This is what we are actually doing. If we're thinking about what we did do, we're not focusing on what we are doing. That's not this moment. So it's always going to be in this moment, but it's in the mind. You know, you want to bend the space with your mind, understand what the mind is and see that space itself is controlling your mind. Understanding the words, you know, you want something outside of yourself. As long as you keep looking out there for it, that's where it's going to be, and that's where you'll always be looking. Never understanding who it is that is looking.
Yes, Cindy. That and you're I know that you're like a tuning rod, Cindy. You're like a tuning fork. You're
She's
very.
amazing.
She is, and there are other people. It was just like you picked up because you're so close and tuned into Crystal. You picked up what happened with her last night intensely, or when I was doing my thing, that my name, the Reverend, when I'm channeling that, pretending to channel that Pentecostal preacher. You pick up that negative, fearful energy that was designed to create for people in a past tense, in that environment to control them. You pick up on that. I've got a phone call, so I'm going to have to answer it.
You're welcome, Cindy. Home.
My dog's trying to join on.
You acknowledge your past. It's not about giving your energy, being aware that you're thinking of your past. That is all you really require to do, is be aware that you're doing something in the present moment, which is called thinking of that which happened. You're welcome, remote art. No.
If you look up Intuitive Focus on YouTube, he's got a channel on there. So Brooke streams. So his Facebook page, Intuitive Focus, he streams out to YouTube, and he also streams out to Twitch as well. So he's got a Twitch channel too. The thing, we keep ourselves in our past. Like if we have a relationship breakdown, the pain of the actual breakdown will last, I don't know how long, not that long. But it's us who mull it over in our heads over and over and over again. And look, I've been bad for it myself. Anything, we can accept what's happened, and we personally can actually make ourselves move away from it and stop thinking about it. It's just patterning of just having to self-sabotage ourselves. Yeah, you're giving us a bit of clearing, aren't you, Steffi?
Yeah, it's all good. Don't take care of it.
Thank you. So did I make sense what I just said? Yeah, we relive it over and over in our heads, and it's a hard behavioral pattern to get out of sometimes. But if you really want to get out of it, yeah. I mean, I don't always live by things that I say, but I should start listening to myself sometimes. I was in the barber's chair. I'm back. Ooh, getting your hair cut. Yeah, we do. We torture ourselves with bringing up shit. Hey, thank you for the grounding.
Mat yokonoshi inano mayat anotan. Dawishiomot ik iomot un ias. Bring your focus to your base chakra and keep it there.
Sorry, I got a call from the president of the non-for-profit, so I felt I ought to take it. Finally gonna get a house here. Sorry, I'm breaking in.
Yes. A bit before Latin though. Its part was Brooke, you're quiet.
I am, which is a first.
I like Sarah Joyce's.
Hello, Rita. Yes, you're correct. Look of our past to move on. Don't focus on the door that's closing. Look at the door that is open. The one that's closed is closed. That's it. Your own thoughts are going to hold it open.
Yeah, it is easy for some to, like, some people do have that wonderful gift of shutting the door and leaving it closed. Some of us do like to relive it, and it's just a pattern that we've got to break. I'm guilty of it.
But that can work as an advantage or disadvantage depending on how someone's trained themselves to do that. If you do get some people that have used trauma to shut things out, and what can come to headspaces in certain areas, and at the same time, it can leave them not to open the door to deal with past hurts.
Yeah.
And so, you know, your biggest strength can quite often be your biggest weakness too at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we've all heard that, and it's just the way it is. So, but it's all part of the self-mastery. Trying to work in your head. Like I had a lot of stuff bombarding me with what I was going through. And the whole day I'd have thoughts come into my head, and then I'd have to go, okay, let's take myself out of that before I give it too much focus and energy. And, you know, and I'd come into a space today where I just got really angry, and then I would just go, you know what, I'm not going to do this angry thing. You know, I'm not going to come into judgment. I've had a look at what's come in, and, you know, and now it's time to move on and deal with what's in the moment now. And it keeps coming back in, and I keep pushing it out. And it's just that constant thing that you've got to deal with. It's part of what we're doing now. You know, everything. You know, you put in effort to train yourself in areas, and then it becomes second nature to you. You know, and you know, I see that a lot of the time we look for you know, sometimes we look for a meditation, or we look to someone to heal us. It's almost like, you know, we look for an instant gratification answer, but at the end of the day, it's just self-mastery. Yeah. Okay, it's time, effort, and putting your focus on what you need to do, and taking the steps to deal with that on a personal level. No one can do it for you. We've got to all do it for ourselves. You know, sometimes we've just got to grit and bear it, and we've got to understand it and do what we can to move forward. So when I get some people, like I had someone say to me, like, I play a lot of instruments, and I was teaching them an instrument, and they go, oh yeah, well, it's easy for you. And I go, why is it easy for me? I've been playing instruments for 20 years, and I started off by practicing an hour a day for 5 years. You know, I had to put in that discipline. I had to put in that training. It didn't come to me overnight. You know, I sucked and struggled when I first started playing instruments. But you have to, you have to put in the yard, and it's spiritualities, and mind, and your mind. It's all, it's just the same thing. Training, discipline. We all got to do it.
We close doors behind us. It doesn't mean that what's behind the door, we do not remember it. It's there. The story doesn't change. We have experienced it. It's whether we want to actually continue to relive it over and over again. Do we want to live in the old house or the new house that's been presented to you? That's the choice that we make.
I was just about to say what Remote just put up. You wouldn't be the person you are today without the traumas you've experienced.
That is right, yes.
It's just we got to stop living in it.
Yeah,
sorry.
Can I break in here just for a minute? Because this gets into, I'm in different 12-step programs, and one of the sayings they have is, we don't shut the door in the past. We don't forget the past, but we don't completely shut the door. We let it inform us. What we do is we don't keep the attachment to it. We don't keep the emotional and the mental attachment to us. So we're constantly reliving the experience. And that's the reason they do the 12 steps, is to, in theory, work through those things and accept things from the past and to live in the present moment, like they keep saying, live in today. And this is just a very similar process, because almost everybody that comes to these spiritual pages have been through some kind of major trauma. I more and more, I believe that the more people I meet and the more people I get to know. And we have to deal with that trauma in order to continue to unfold and to live happy, be happy with where we're at. It's not always easy. It's very, very hard.
And be proud of where you are.
Particularly if you have a pattern of using the past to justify your behavior of now, like I did.
I guess you could almost
to choose to use that as an excuse to not do the next right things in life. And that's something I'm working through right now at 70 years old.
Could we almost not say that easy is a perception?
Hey?
Could we not say that easy is a perception? People go, I'll take the easy path. Yeah. But in fact, you've just made another 100 options a lot harder for yourself.
Or delayed your healing by another 5 years.
Like this, as a kid. If you're a kid and you've got it easy because your mum's doing everything for you, then later on in life, when you're out on your own, everything becomes 10 times as hard to get your shit together.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's a good way to explain it.
It's
Hi, Maggie.
It's all true. We've experienced it. Those experiences, we do not forget them. I don't know what other words to use. They're there for us. When we speak about being present and being now, it is right now that we don't get affected by what we have experienced. We are acknowledging it for what it is. Right now, we have that choice, being aware that we have a choice to relive that moment. If we're not aware that we have that choice, we relive it unconsciously. So we're always being drawn to a particular focus without realizing that's what we're doing. We think that is reality. We don't know we are actually doing it. To know that you're doing that is the ability to move forward. And when I say move forward, it's not a matter of moving forward. It's being aware that we're always thinking based on the past. And to be aware of it, we're always in the present, being aware of what we're doing. So we're in the present, being aware of the experiences that we've had, and we've learned from them, and we've come to the point where we can actually look at them and choose now, because we are aware, this is going to hurt me because I want to be hurt, so I'll go and think about it. I'm going to be happy, so I'll go and think about it. We have a choice how we're going to feel with what we're going to experience now by being aware of it. It's not happening. It's happened. We've experienced. We can choose to relive it over and over again if we want. But the point, we have that ability to do it. Knowing that we can do it, we do it whenever we want, but we're aware that the moment is unfolding, and all we have is the memory of what we have just done, not what we're doing. So no one here knows what the next words are going to be that I'm going to speak, or what the next words you're going to be, unless you're thinking about them. Okay, and if you're thinking about them, you're actually not listening. So we think before we listen. When I speak, this is the only thing that is occurring, and your listening is the other thing that is occurring. This is in this moment. The rest of it, what I'm saying, becomes past tense. We choose now whether we relive the words that I've said or allow whatever is going to come through to come through, without presumption of what it should be or how it should be or it could be. It just is.
I'm a classic for that. Is someone will say something and something they'll say stands out to me, and then I'll start thinking about that and I'll miss the rest of the conversation.
Yes, because we don't accept that we have this thing that we believe that we need to remember everything that is being said. We don't. You see, everything that is occurring right now, it's there. We can remember it. We can focus on it. So we see the mind itself, or us as energy, absorbs everything that you can possibly imagine that is occurring in the second that you're aware of it. We don't have to think about everything. When we're listening to people, we listen to them, and yes, certain things do trigger us, and we pay more attention to it, and we go off on the monkey ride on branch to branch, and we miss the rest of the conversation because we believe that we're required to focus on those most particular words that we are drawn to. We don't have to think about it. We just listen, and at the end of it, whether you remember the conversation or not, you will be able to respond because you've absorbed it. You're not thinking about what they're saying, and the response will be a natural response to what you've been listening to.
Yeah, I get that.
Can I just break in here for a minute and make a point on what you said something earlier? That's the definition of PTSD, when a memory or trauma from the past, like combat, sexual abuse, physical abuse, the horrifying scene you were part of, outside stimuli, a smell, a sound, words, a place, some stimuli, it's a form of mental illness involving time, where you're living in a past event becomes real today and affects your chakras, your emotions, and your mental abilities. And they have different ways of dealing with that, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. They're finding that blocking it with drugs just intensifies it. They did that to me when I was in the VA hospital 40-some years ago, and it doesn't cure it.
This is the other part of being present as well, and the acknowledgement of oneself. I am not denying what you are stating. For myself personally, and I'll speak for myself right this moment, that's your belief. That's what you believe. You believe that will be real for you, and it will be true for you as you express it and you experience it. I will not deny your belief and how much energy you put into believing it. So what you focus on becomes your reality. I don't believe that. I don't require to believe that. My experiences are completely different, which actually contradict everything you've just stated. I'm standing right before you while sitting at this moment, and that is not true. I've had what they call PTSD. I've been an alcoholic. I've done everything. That is a story that they've told us to believe, which limits us on who we truly are. The belief that we have, and we put the energy of what we've been told, that itself, we believe then, and we live what we have been told until we realize that we don't know anything. We actually believe what we've been told. And the moment that you ask yourself, how do you truly know? Most people argue about what somebody else has said, not because they know it, because they believe it. That's all it is. Everything that we do is based on what we have heard and what we believe. We never truly experience it for ourselves. And what we experience, we use, again, what we've been told to express it. And then we believe what we've been told. Again, it's just a cycle. Never getting out of the cycle of what we've been told. So that is a belief that we have come, that we have been educated with. Again, it comes to education. We can accept to believe it or acknowledge it that is a way of experiencing something and move forward, because there's a lot of other ways to experience it as well.
To extrapolate on that, like World War II veterans and some of the other ones, they had that experience, but they were able to compartmentalize it and deal with it different because they had a different belief system and they had a different value system, and they went forward with it because they had different expectations. The latter generation, Vietnam on, and it's always been that way. I mean, there are certain traumas, I used to call it shell shock. But again, like you said, it was their mindset. I survived. I'm going to go on like my uncle and become a teacher. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do something, use this experience to survive this combat positively. It's like you said, I see that now. I'm aware of it. You put it into better words so I can understand it a little better.
When there's no other moments, see, everything comes back to the present moment, to where we are right now. Being aware of whatever you've experienced, you're not experiencing that right this moment. We can discuss it. It's something that has happened. It's not happening. To grasp that itself is the beginning of seeing things with different eyes. Because the mind itself is always seen it through the associations that we have, the experiences, everything that we've experienced throughout this life. We allow that to dictate what we're experiencing. When we're aware of what it is, then we're aware of what has been dictating our experiences. Then it does no longer can it dictate, because we're actually speaking it right this moment. We're dictating at this moment, being aware that the past itself, we can now choose to be affected by it or not. We can do that right this moment. Right this moment, you can choose to be happy or sad. Or you can choose the beliefs that you have to dictate how you're going to experience this moment. To some, I'm the devil. To others, I'm the Christ. To whomever it is, I'm something that they believe. I really don't care about the belief. Don't believe what I am. Don't think about who I am or what I could possibly be doing. Acknowledge yourself, who you are that knows and experiences, not what you know, nor what you are experiencing. They are experiences. They've happened. They're not happening.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a question, and I kind of forgotten roughly what it was.
This is actually starting to make a lot of sense.
It is all, we need to believe in ourselves that we can change our life.
Yes, and also to acknowledge, because it becomes a paradox in itself, to acknowledge yourself that you have to separate yourself. You have to acknowledge what you are not. You're not what you're experiencing. You're not what you're feeling. You're not what you're speaking. You're not what you're listening to. What are you left with? What are you left with when you're not your experience?
Can I say nothing? Because I don't know.
Well, see, what's nothing? And I'd ask
I'm
you,
just going to say I don't know.
whatever words you use, the question I would ask is, how did you come to know what that word means?
I was told.
Okay, so now you can tell me about what you've been told, or try and work out for yourself what you have not been told. You see, it doesn't matter what I believe. It really matters of what you know for yourself. Who is it that you are without using what you've been told?
Absolutely.
Oh. You can
Crystal. Feels like you can
Deep
feel the cogs going, can't you? Steffi has a really good way of like getting my cogs turning.
Because that's the whole point to enlightenment, is taking steps to uncover that and work out who you really are. And it's the whole point of evolution.
I am.
You are.
I am.
guess. Well, that's break the mold, break the programming. I mean,
Sorry, Crystal, I read that in such a bad way.
That's where most of our awakening started, is not being happy and going, you know what? Something's got to be different. Something's got to change. I'm not going to do what I'm doing. I'm not going to follow what I follow. I want to know for myself. I want to understand for myself. I want to know myself. You know?
Yes, we can believe what we've been told, or we can acknowledge that we are not what we've been told. That's the beginning of the journey. You know, yes, I can speak it in the manner today where it's very simple for me as I express it. I've been on this journey for over 20 years. It hasn't been simple to just speak it the way that I do. We speak about shadow work, and we speak about so much of clearing the dark night of the soul. Mine's been going on and still goes on to this moment.
Gives you a shiver. Sorry.
Oh.
Read the comments.
Oh.
Indeed.
Squirrel brain.
I mean, it's fun, isn't it? My God.
We create these patterns in ourselves. I have throughout my life patterns of thinking, behavior patterns. Even if it's damaging, there's a comfort in it, even when it's bad, because it's a comfort because we're accustomed to it. A lot of times I like to wallow in the past or wallow in the bad because it's comfortable to me, because this is the pattern I've become accustomed to.
Yep.
And it gives me an emotional payoff. Even if it's negative, it's a comfort zone because it's familiar. And when given an option of something else, a lot of times I'll dive back and wallow in that misery because it's a form of comfort zone.
And that brings us into gratification.
Can I say something? I got told by someone, I won't go into detail, I got told basically that I wasn't ready to help people. And you know what? And then I got told by another person and another person and other people. And you know what? I actually started believing that. And then I had to stop that thought because that was stopping me from doing what I wanted. If you know what I mean. I had to stop believing what they were telling me, that I wasn't ready. I had to get inside myself and go, no, fuck that. I can help people. I'm not going to have people tell me I can't help people just because their views on where I'm at. They had no idea where I'm at. I knew where I was at. So
ladies,
I need to stop.
Ladies.
What? Oh, yeah. Look out, Steady.
Hey,
go on, do that throat thing.
Yeah, you think it just comes out because I want it to come out.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to occur on its own.
I can't even do it.
2 seconds.
Sorry.
See, you broke his cassette. Tingle in your lady parts there, Crystal.
That one.
Your version of it, Carly, is when you hit the vape. Do your Darth Vader sound.
Oh, look at the comments. Sorry. Yes, Karen, yes.
Karen is there.
Yeah, I love that comment. Your journey is unique to you alone.
She was.
She
sends me
I actually had a little chanty when people told me I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do
like
what?
I had a little 2-year-old tanty. That everyone was telling me that I wasn't healed enough to help other people in the same situation that I had been in.
I believe that healing and working with others heals you. I have learned more working through the people I work with as a sponsor and doing the work I do. It helps me with my realizations, and it helps me connect to source or spirit. It does for me. And that's how the process for me works. I've seen you grow just exponentially over the last 3 or 4 months, Carly. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Karen has been a massive support for me in the background. She messages me and says these things, and she's helped me believe in me as well. Yeah.
She checks in every now and then. You know what I mean? This one is, and she'll send me some stuff like, what's going on? Or she'll send me some messages, well, this or that in the last recently.
I love it.
It'll help me bring me back to the focus that hopefully we're looking for.
Absolutely. And well, the universe, it's got our back because we get those little messages when we need them.
Some people, like Karen or Staffy, work on a little different level of awareness and spirit or channel than what most of than is availed to most of us, and can help heal us or open us in areas that going to card readers and mediums, connecting with psychic things don't necessarily give us an opportunity for.
Well, they've both been doing this walk a lot longer, and paying attention.
Many lifetimes and
evolving and facing their stuff, dealing with their shit.
And some people came back here. Some people came back here not needing to be a part of what's going on right now, like Karen and a few other people, probably Staffy as well, to be part of what's occurring across the 3D world here.
But Carly, on what you're hitting on not being ready to help people, well, you do your best, and in situations like that, and as long as you evolve, you're evolving, say, like ahead of them, that's all good. As soon as anyone becomes fraudulent, it'll come to the surface.
Yeah.
So just go with it. I mean, I try to help people with what I've learned on my way, and I'm still learning, and I'm only new. But there's, people that haven't gone through the stuff that I've gone through, and I can help them out. I'm not claiming to know it all. I'm just explaining what I've learned along the way and just sharing. That's what we do. We share to help each other.
If we can put a smile on someone's face, or, just have them walk away feeling like they're acknowledged, or just anything apart from feeling down on themselves, we've done our job.
Yep.
Just even if it's an hour of happiness that they gain, that is the best gift to have.
Or then a moment of emotional
or
mental anguish, the release for just those
moments.
We'll come back to it, but those moments of relief, and then possibly they can find their own way of achieving that.
Yeah. Well, it gets them into that place of, yes, I can believe now that it just gives them that little bit of hope.
That was my next thought, and you made it did it for me.
And
thank you.
Do you know how many people I've at work I've gone, can I hug you? Like after the readings, can I give you a hug? And do you know, all of them have said yes. All but, apart from the whole, no one really cares about the social distancing, obviously, because I don't. And I'm like, give me a hug. Come on. And I hug them, and they walk off so happy. I got told a lady wants to adopt me after a reading I gave her because she was seen, if you know what I mean. Like she felt like finally she was seen.
And I think that's part of much of it. We lived in this
gratitude.
Illusion we've created. And then when someone actually sees us for who and what we truly are, besides the illusion or the facade that society or we've created in conjunction with the social constructs and social norms, which I never fit, unfortunately.
Like that hat.
Hey,
Open it up at the back, man.
I
It's too
earned
high.
that. I earned that. I earned that. Now it's just the way it's made. I earned that hat.
What is it, EOD?
Yeah, it's bomb disposal. It's what I did in the Army years ago when I was a little youngster.
EOD.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
a Scorpio and bomb?
It's explosive ordnance disposal.
I was just
That's
trying to
what
think
it
of
is. Bomb
some
disposal.
cool.
It's explosive ordnance disposal.
Can you imagine a
Extreme.
Scorpio in bomb disposal? No, it's the other way. Don't you?
Don't touch it. I'm gonna touch it.
It's like most things in the world. It's not.
See, that's it, Karina.
It's
We all
not,
hit.
it's not as seen on TV in reality, in real life.
Mm.
It's a good, very good, neat group of guys I was able to be with.
See, that's it. We all need to support each other, not knock each other down. We're not here to do that. No. Anger. I had to work on a lot of anger, so I get that anger.
I looked for my whole life for somewhere to be and somewhere to belong. I tried to fit into some really strange holes and shapes that didn't fit me, and then finally I came to a place where it didn't matter anymore.
Yes.
I still have that tendency to want to seek, to belong and be a part of and be accepted, but it was part of what I need to learn in this life, or what I chose to learn, or what I choose to experience.
You will be seen by the right people.
Is that part of the illusion? Not fitting in.
Yeah, we want to be acknowledged. We don't acknowledge. We're not acknowledging ourselves, and we're seeking for that acknowledgement. It's ourselves. When they say what you're looking for is looking for you, because that is actually very true. It's yourself looking for yourself, but we don't know, and we look away from ourselves. We don't look at ourselves. We're always looking somewhere other than ourselves.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
We accept the definitions that are given us, and I've tried to fit those definitions and never quite could or be comfortable with it. I went to some pretty bizarre.
Well, I figure not everyone's going to like us. We're not going to like everyone.
No, it's not a matter of liking or not liking. Everyone comes to us for a lesson. We will be a lesson for somebody else as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We have been taught to actually focus on the messenger and not the message. So we look at the person, we listen to what they're saying, and we automatically have an association of whatever it might be, resentment to whatever it is that they're stating to us. But we're not prepared to listen. If you truly listen, even to your, I was tortured. I tortured myself at one stage, and I sat down and watched Parliamentary Time. Oh, I'm so sorry, Stuffy. I sat and I watched Parliament Time. If you listen to them, they're bantering like little kids in a primary school, worse than bloody kindergarten children. But if you listen to what they're talking about, the message is there. But most people will focus on the bantering that they have and how this one's talking about this one and abusing that guy there, and this one put this one down. Irrelevant. Once you get to the message, there's a different story being told. So ignore who the messenger is. Focus on the message. There's no reason to hate or like anything. It's an acknowledgement that this is the message. Yes, it resonates. No, it doesn't. Thank you very much. Next one, please.
Yeah, that is a better way.
So there's no hating. There's no hating. There's no requirement for that word with its association. It's not ours. We don't have that thing called hate. Can we feel it? Yes. Have we experienced it? Yes. Is it us? No. You see, it's a feeling. It's an experience that we did have. We don't require it anymore. I know that if prior to this moment, if I was to say to you, I hate you, I know the effect that will have on you.
Yeah.
It will be in your mind. Now that I explained it to you, I can use that word. It has no energy, no power over us anymore. We choose now. If I hear someone say to me, I hate you. And that's my problem. Why?
Yep.
It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter. It's none of my business what your thoughts are, how you feel about what you're experiencing, whether I'm part of that experience or not. I don't care. It's your issue, not mine. Yes,
I know what you
please,
mean.
Cindy.
Weird sounds.
Yeah, if you're making but-
long black extra, strong long black extra shot, please.
But it's like just part of the program. we run part of the program, and as soon as someone mentions something like you were saying, like as soon as we disagree, we get attached to the fact that we do not fit in or we do not agree. And instead of waiting for what resonates, or what we can take out of it, we have to get in arms about what we don't agree with, and then we miss
yes,
what is relevant.
We miss this moment. So that's right. And again, it brings you. I'm going to bring it back to the present moment. So, because we're doing exactly what you just stated, we cannot. We hold on to the focus of they're not focusing on me, or they're not interested in me, or they're not accepting me, or whatever it might be. Our focus is not allowing us to allow the other energies to come through, which are there in the first place. So there's nothing that right now, whatever it is that you're going to experience and what you have experienced is existing right this moment. We have this concept of time that says that it happened at a particular time. What you've experienced was, if you like, a layer of the onion that you went through to be where you are right now. We call it time, or a time that happened. It's happening right this moment. That stage, that experience, someone else at some stage is going to come along and experience that frequency that we all experienced. Everything is a frequency. It's we are not the frequencies that we're experiencing. We're not the states that we are experiencing. These are just states that we're experiencing. The experiencer, think about it. The experiencer, you are the experiencer, not what you are experiencing. Everything has been an experience. If you like, all these experiences are is the ocean, and you're swimming through them, and the thickness or the density, if you like, of the depth of the water. Yeah. We're coming from the bottom and we're coming up, where it's the most densest to where it's the least densest. The present moment is that which we don't carry with us, which is the density, which is the luggage or the baggage that they all talk about. The thoughts that we focus on is the baggage. That's the only thing that prevents us from walking a light path.
Absolutely.
The thoughts themselves which hold us outside of this moment and not allowing this to unfold in the manner that it is possible to unfold. Our thoughts will prevent the possibility, because if we have an expectation on how things are to be, we're not allowing the energy to express itself to its fullest possibilities.
Absolutely.
So if I'm going to say I don't like someone, I'm just going to say I don't resonate with that person.
Well, it just goes back to where your focus is, your energy goes.
That's right.
Again, you know, we grab onto that and distraction. We distract ourselves, break your programming, come into the moment. It's the whole point. I mean, finding that balance sometimes where when do I need to put in time to work something out? Do you know what I mean? Because there are times where you need to go in the past. You need to look at what's happened. You need to attach to that negativity so you can see what's going on and make, a judgment in this 3D world or whatever, or come to some sort of conclusion. I mean, you have to analyze that perspective to a degree. But then you just have to leave it.
When we come across people, if we look at everybody like a book, we pick up books and we read the book. When we're reading it, we come across characters that we like and we dislike. And we associate to these characters, and that's just reading. If we can see the same in a person, just like we grab the book and we don't truly get affected because we know it's a story, we know it's a book. We finish it, we close it up and put it away. We don't have we don't actually have an effect by that book. If we can look at people exactly the same way, that story, exactly right, that story is all it is. We choose at this moment whether that story is going to have an effect on us or not.
I just had that aha moment.
So I saw it.
Karen just sent me a message with one of her memes, and it said, we were particles of light, now we're beings of light. And I just, I actually saw something like that or believe something like that. Should do little things like that.
A lot of things.
So everybody is a book. I have read a lot of books, and there are a lot of books that say don't judge a book by the cover. I have judged plenty of books by the cover. I look at the cover, I'm not drawn to it, I put it aside, I don't read it whatsoever.
Same as
I have no. Exactly. It applies to everything. It applies to humanity as well. We just have a belief that we need to be kind to everyone. It's not a matter of being kind or unkind. It is more about acknowledging oneself and one accepting truthfully within themselves what they like and dislike. Go for what you like. What you dislike is still there. You don't have to hate it or anything. Allow it to be. Someone else likes what you don't like.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly right. So, but that is true. But that is actually true. I know for myself, and what you just stated is a really good example. I do go around, I do find material that people have thrown out. So I know how to use it.
Yep.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. And we have to work that way and acknowledge that your belief, because that's what it comes down to when we really speak about it. This story, this book is a belief. Your belief is great. Good on you. I'm not interested in following through with it. Or I'm not drawn to it. I'm not drawn to that. How was your day? You know, have a cup of coffee and move on. The rest of it, we don't have to focus. We don't have to say anything negative to anyone. We can appreciate and say thank you for informing me of whatever the information is. Move on.
Yeah, like a buffet.
That's us. Yeah, it is. It's all. You don't want the roast. You choose.
If you don't like roast pork, fucking walk past it. And go to the chicken wings.
Well said. Very well said. Thank you. That's a good way.
Why create the attachment and the energy disruption? I see what you're saying with arguing or.
Area of focus, because we focus on it. We put the attention to it, and that's how when we speak of manifestation, we are constantly manifesting all of it. That's everything that we're doing at this moment is a form of manifestation. We have brought ourselves to this point through manifesting, but manifestation itself is the thought process. As you think, it shall be. As you think and you speak, guaranteed, it will be what you have spoken, because our thoughts are guiding. They're not, we're in automatic mode, but our thoughts guide us to think the way that we actually think. When we don't actually think and acknowledge things and accept them for what they are right now, and accept that the unknown is constantly unfolding, someone will come to us. If we're already thinking that this person is good or bad, we're not going to receive what this newness is going to be, because we're already prejudging what this new will be, or whatever it comes to us. That's all we are. We're just we're a being that experiences. We're travelers, experiencing something new constantly. We've learned to be drawn to a particular energy. So, like children, something new comes along and we're drawn to it. We want that newness constantly. We play with it for a little while, then something else is presented to us. We want that new now. Okay, but we got so used to getting so used to the old, because we were encouraged to focus on the old constantly. There was no new, because we keep hold of everything for as long as we can. So we got used to it. We're children that just want to experience constantly this new light, this shiny little thing that's in the distance, to go towards it. So they gave us all these shiny lights that we focus on and get drawn to. until we realize that we're the lighthouse itself, and we should just be focusing back on ourselves and get drawn to ourselves. So no one knows what's going to happen after this moment. Not one person knows what tomorrow is going to bring, or the next moment, or the next word. Every second is past tense. Our belief of what will be the next one is all we have.
I'm going to get up for just a minute. I'll be right back.
Cool. Brooke, you've got the show for a moment, because I need to go and clear as well. So give me a moment. I'll be back in the tick as well. You're on your own, mate.
Hey, hi, Mike, David.
Anyone want to come on the show with me? Crystal, Karina? Well, it's a bit like that. You know, we spend all that time. You know, that's why we're going to move out of judgment. Because when we're, as I say, like, you know, like totally like a buffet, we go through lives, people put stuff before us. I was just thinking, like, even this, what's going on with the, with this C word that's happening at the moment is all, we spend all this, we got people that have got different beliefs, and it's like, you know, like the buffet. I like the chicken wings. You like the you like the beef stroganoff, and then we spend too much time telling everyone, no, you got to have the beef stroganoff. You know, you got to have the chicken wings. If you don't have the chicken wings, you just, everyone else is in danger, and they're all going to die because you just. Because you didn't eat the beef stroganoff. Because you didn't eat the beef stroganoff. It's like, mate, you know. So that's why we're going to accept. We're going to accept that, you know, our belief systems and our belief structures with everyone else is we're going to respect everyone's boundaries. But I know it's hard too when you other people don't respect your boundaries and they force your beliefs on that. But we've all been guilty of doing that to someone else. So like. When I talk to people and they tell me, I have to do, you know, if you don't get vaccinated, you're all going to be like, you know, you're putting everyone else in being like, and you just got to explain to them, look, I'm allowing you to have your beliefs, and you've got to do the right thing to me, and you got to understand, well, and they go, oh yeah, but you go, well, how do you know that? Oh, they told me. So, like, have you done your own research? Do you actually know that? You know, you only believe something because someone told you. You know, that's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't argue it, but it's just hard. But we got to understand that, you know, people, because we're all in different places and we're all doing different things, we just got to, just what. What's that when someone starts talking, you just sort of back away and go, okay, see you later.
I'm just going to back pedal now.
You have a nice day, change the subject.
Yeah,
that's it. You know, it's hard. It's hard, but we, you know,
we do
our
our
part of life.
I've always questioned everything.
Oh my God, the human race, we're such head cases, aren't we? We all fucking head cases. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're saying that the people who actually, I better not get on the top. Don't get me started. I heard something today from my sister that I really hope is not true. But I probably best not bring it up in here.
No, but you can talk about the theory behind the belief system and how we interact with other people in the belief system. We don't need to go into specifics. You know, it's hard because we've all been there, and this is what I get at too, is because I have my beliefs and I think I'm right. You know, I can't overly force that onto other people too. And even though I think that they're acting in fear, they're living in fear, they haven't educated themselves in that area, haven't done their own research.
You want to say they're wrong? Sorry.
Yeah, but it's not.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Sorry.
I can't say that they're wrong. All I can say is go and do your own research and find out for yourself. And I'm not interested in hearing you repeating what you've heard on TV. And they can say the same thing to me. And I'm like, correctamundo. Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
You have to agree with them. It goes both ways.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, if someone's awakened or not, spiritual or not, at the end of the day, everyone's still trying to navigate. They just have a different, a different thought structure and a different beliefs. Everyone's still trying to, navigate.
Everyone's on a different path.
Yeah. That's why we're going to try not to get attached and triggered and, you know what I mean? Get into that headspace where, like, that argument headspace. Because it just seems to be just, agree to disagree. That's it. But I was waiting for Karina. I was agree to disagree. I was waiting to say, look, agree to disagree, even though I know you're wrong. So that sounds more like the Karina I know.
Am I rubbing off on you, Crystal? It is what it is. I know, and I love hearing you say that every time you're like, it is what it is. And I'm actually starting to go, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, that's all it is.
No, you're not another jabbed sheep, sweetheart.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely not. You did it for someone else, to so you could go to the wedding. We don't think you.
Hey, you look. It's your body, your choice. You're going to do whatever you feel safe doing, whatever you feel to do, Crystal.
The best choice in this situation. What was that?
Yeah.
Did I like start a trend? I had to leave and then they had to
leave. Crystal's been vaccinated.
You're a unicorn dipped in glitter. Hello, he's back.
I'm back.
He's back.
Translation for needing to clear is not coffee. Thank you very much, Cindy.
Yeah, but I'm at least thinking two birds with one stone, Steph.
Yeah, I could, but I did.
I've had to pee like I don't know how many times since I've been live, so I've got to cut back on the coffee now.
It's a bit of clearing. Liver needs clearing anyway. Drink more water. Actually, not too much water, but drink water.
Who, me?
You try and put some salt in your water. You need salt.
To retain.
You need some salt.
Water.
You do. You need some salt.
Otherwise, you could have multivitamins. Okay. I
hear you calling darling. I don't even know you, darling.
I can't see Steffi smiling, is he?
Steffi doesn't smile.
No. I need your address.
You do. See?
Steffi, I need your address so I can send you a webcam. I don't know if it's your light or your webcam.
No. You see, I
thank you.
like this tone. I like this lighting. I don't like to be in too much light. And I keep my laptop away from me as well. So no, I'm actually good, thank you. And yes, I can actually get brighter as well. I'm just not interested.
I know, but I feel like we're gonna see a picture of you on that. What's that? Chill TV. Stop scariest. This is Staffy. He's phasing in. Can you tell if he's a spirit or not? You haven't seen that show?
No.
Like in the scariest top 10? Oh, don't worry.
You have to be.
You be the judge. He does a good show. He does good stuff, but it's funny. Okay. I'll be frank with you. All this talk of...
when you're being sarcastic, darling.
All this thought of needing to go to the toilet. Guess what?
Your turn.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't miss too much.
No, you're good. Okay.
I go back and rewatch them because when I miss things, and I can't believe like Staffy was talking about how we'll go down rabbit holes when somebody says something, and I'll go back and I find I missed something major because my mind was off traveling. Monkey jumping from branch to branch when somebody says something that lights
That's
up.
why
I'll go back and
I don't have time to go back and watch all the lives.
I know you
I
don't.
always say, yeah, I'll go back and watch it, and then I just don't.
I watched
So
this
if I ever
one.
say, yeah, I'll watch it later, it's a guarantee that I'll forget and I won't.
I do this one and maybe one or two others.
Hey, Tracy.
Come on, Tracy. No, we were talking about the ascension symptoms, Tracy, and I've Penny Evans. I've asked her to talk to you because she had that portal thing that you experienced, and it was really negative and freaked her out.
I don't know whether it's so much a portal thing. I think it's just a bit of she just
Energy.
probably picked up on a whole heap of energy. I don't know. Steffi may know more about it.
Portals, again, each individual's experience to what a porthole is different. I have seen portholes, or a porthole, I'd say actually a few of them. I've seen vortexes, I've seen a lot of things. Each individual will experience it differently. What we know of portholes, I did not necessarily experience them as we know them for what we can describe them through TV or books or anything. But it's more a break or a rip in our time itself.
Our reality.
Reality. Thank you. That's the word. It is a rip where it just we get glimpses into. We get glimpses outside of the belief we have. Is the best way that I can put it, because we have, if you like, what they call the veil around us, and every now and then we get glimpses through that veil, and it shows us things that don't make sense, or things that we have heard which feel more real than just a fantasy. The experiences. Oh, Gil, you're going to have to learn to mute when you're doing that inhaler.
No, we
I know.
love it.
I've got a really good microphone.
No, she's
My
got
mic is
Because it
amazing.
sounds like you're
It's Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader. We love it. We love it. It's her signature.
Yeah, it goes straight into my ear. Yes. Headphones. I have got Bluetooth. It's sitting right in my ear, and all I can hear is.
Damn, girl, you sure got a hell of a blast off that thing. Loud and white be blue. That's crazy.
Sorry, Steffi.
Tracy, what she experienced was very similar to you were talking about how you were driving down a stretch of road and everything changed, and even though you knew the road, it changed what you were seeing. It was like you had come through a portal or a different reality. She experienced something like that and was very negative. She went into this gate, and I think there was some presence or something like Cindy was talking about earlier, where when she went in there, she felt great fear and felt things watching her, pushing her out. She was delivering a package. She set the package down and said, I can't do this, and had to leave. So I don't know what that was, but it freaked her out, and her mother experienced it, and her car started alarming. These alarms started going off in her car, and when she got back in the car and they left, the alarms turned off. So I don't know exactly what happened, but she's experiencing some extreme ascension symptoms. We were talking about it with Carly the other night, and I told her to go ahead and get a hold of you.
Again, yes, I can appreciate what you're saying regarding Tracy's experience. I think that's who you said it was. Now, I cannot respond to that because that's not your experience. So what you're expressing is through your visualization right this moment, which is not Tracy's experience. Each individual's experience is unique to them. As they're expressing their experience, and this is for all readers now, as someone expresses their experience, the energy that comes through them is unique to them. When you hear it, and again, if you can, to seers, when you're hearing this frequency, when you're hearing them expressing what they've experienced, that energy will create the visual for yourself to see, to be able to assist, respond in the manner that is required at that moment that it's been expressed to you. It will be known by the individual, whether it is fantasy, whether it's a reality, whether it's whatever it is that experience was for the individual itself. We all have something that is unique. Even if I was to sit with Tracy and Tracy was to speak her whole experience, the way that I would express it would not be what Tracy expressed, but it will be more to confirm for the individual, yes, that feels right. And that's all it is. Their experience is not for me to know. It's not for me to make it right or wrong. Yes, it feels right because we are able to, once we understand how to, feel the story that one is speaking of and know whether we have read it or not. And that's at a different level to understand that as well.
Can you pull up the next comment by Tracy? The time slowing. That was the one where she was driving.
Yeah.
Seeing the visual, like the trees look different and everything just kind of. Is that the one?
That one.
Yeah.
And you're aware of it. And I just feel like this is Penny Evans I was talking about. And I remember you describing that experience. And I'd really like you to talk to her because she's kind of like going, what in the hell is going on? She's very sensitive and opening up. And yeah. I figure she needs to talk to somebody who's has a little bit more wheels on the road than myself.
I'm crazy, man. You don't want to send anyone to me.
I could if you talk to her. If you want to talk to her.
I'm a crazy. Look, I'm a crazy man. You know. So people speak to me, and I can respond very politely as well. I can hear what everyone says. I can hear what you're saying. I can hear the. It takes me a lot to actually come to this point here and say to whomever it is that I'm going to speak to, look, whatever experience you're having, yes, appreciate the experience. It's great. It's going to give you a thrill, whether it's a positive or negative, whichever way you want to look at it. So some people like pain, that's a positive thrill for them. I can go to all of it. How you experience that itself, as relevant as it is, it's who is experiencing it, which is more relevant than the experience. The experiencer itself, and I will always go back to the experiencer because you're the reader of a story. You're experiencing a story. You've come to believe that you are the actual story itself, but you're just experiencing something that's already been written. You're reading a book at this moment. It's a living book. This is your avatar. You're not here, but your avatar is experiencing it. You're feeling your full experience. To acknowledge it to that level itself, all our experiences are true and correct. It's what we're here for, to experience that. I chose to be hit by a car when I was 7 years old. I was hit by a car when I was 7 years old. I cannot change that. It was an experience. Yeah, I do remember it as well. I've experienced a lot of things. I've been sucker punched. I've been put in hospital. All these experiences, I can sit here, dwell on them, or acknowledge what I acknowledge. That. So when I acknowledge that there are experiences, I don't have this thing called time to tell me what experience to have, or to remember, or to recall. All of those experiences, and any moment I want. By not thinking about it, I'm experiencing as well. I can recall it. But you see, for myself personally, the most fascinating experience that I have is being aware of the moment as it unfolds. The energy to that point there, whatever we've experienced cannot compare to this new moment that constantly is unfolding. Old energy is just that. It's old. The new energy, it is. Your books have. I'm not saying anything that you cannot find in any book that you read. The Bible says, everything that I've just spoken about, new wine, old wine, they're all parables. They're all about ourselves. It's all about the experience that we're having at the moments that we're aware of it. Yeah, I'll say the same thing. Everything we have spoken about up to this moment is in our memory.
Bring Tracy on. She doesn't have a camera. Just go ahead and send her an invite and let her come on.
Already have.
Okay, good.
What's on it? What's on it?
Cool. I love what she said about the shifting timeline. I've experienced that more in the past.
Yeah, so that's what I was explaining this morning about. Yeah, that one.
That I've experienced that more so in the past, and now I don't know why I don't experience it now, but it doesn't matter. I don't have a lot of the experiences I used to have, and I'm kind of grateful for it.
I don't see
It's like
a
a
lot of
moonworm.
people. I don't see anything when I don't see spirits. I don't see angels. I don't see masters. I don't know what God is. I don't know. So I looked at every word, if you would like. I look at it like this for myself. Whatever word that you can imagine right this moment, and it exists in a dictionary, it's not your word. You believe it because you've been told that's what that word means. Okay, so I remove that whole belief system. I'm left with knowing it is a belief, and it's not mine, it's somebody else's. It's a story that somebody has written. We just fell into this story believing it was our own story.
Mm.
I acknowledge that right this moment, this is a story that I am experiencing. I'm not this story. It's not part of me, but it is part of me. This is unfolding. I do not know what the next moment is going to bring. I know what I have experienced. I know that this is all new for me. Everything that I've spoken about, how I've spoken it, it's a complete new moment. It's an exciting moment. I don't know what the next moment's going to bring. And it is always an exciting moment for myself. Yes, one thing that does occur in the present moment and being constantly present, you ignore the past. The past doesn't hold you. Time doesn't hold you. If the past cannot hold you, there's no time to hold you.
Which goes back to an earlier conversation you're having. Hey there, Tracy.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Tracy.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, you share.
Hey?
You share.
What did you want me to share?
Like you were talking about, like we were.
Your lottery winnings.
Did you hear what I was describing a little bit of Penny's experience? You know, that she felt like she went through a portal. She felt like she went through a portal. She was delivering a package, and she went through this gate, and this woman's house was like she had to go up 1,000 yards. You know, they probably had a human entry because everything there has to be gated with a lot of the problems, and particularly wealthy people. So she was delivering a package. She went through the gate and felt like she was going through a portal, and her car started alarming, different alarms on the car. You've got different warnings and things, and they were loud. And she walked up and she felt this massive fear, and she said, my organs were trembling inside, and she felt these entities or something watching her, pushing her, and felt this tremendous fear. And she said she started crying, set the package down up by the door instead of delivering it, and then ran. Wow. So, and it just traumatized her. And she's been having a lot of things going on right now. As if you know anything about South Africa, things have been exploding there, and they're kind of heading to a really bad space there. And I don't know what she's picking up, but maybe there was some energy there, and she's very sensitive. She's opening up to a lot of ascension symptoms. She and I apparently did a tour of past lives not that long ago while we were in a meditation. It was nothing that I had planned to do with anybody, but just to talk about your experience, like you feel portal.
Yeah, I don't think I've passed through a portal. The closest I've come to that was I went through about 2 months, thank God it stopped now, where I would be driving To Carly's one day, for example. I was driving to Carly's down the same road I go down. I've been going down for 19 years. Down the road, all of a sudden, Carly's turn-off street wasn't the same. I had to keep going up and down the road. I could not find the street because everything changed. It's like everything was different. The trees weren't the right size. Houses didn't have fences. Houses were missing. And I eventually turned down the road that goes to her street. I could not find her actual street off of that road, to the extent that I went up and down. I pulled over and I just started crying in the end, after like weeks and weeks of this constantly happening. And I ended up going and putting my sat nav on my Google, and I had to go find her house with my Google Maps.
Wow.
And that was happening to me all the time. I'd be out, because I live out bush, I'd be driving along country roads that I've been down for, like, as I said, I've been out here 19 years. I'd be having la 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 la, having a good day, and all of a sudden I'd look and I'd go, where the fuck am I? I thought, like, did I turn off the road? Where am I? I didn't know where I was. Everything was different, and I'd learn after a while to just drive through it and keep going, and eventually I'd suddenly to go back. But that wasn't going through portals. That was just, there was none of that feeling that Penny's getting with that. It was just frustrating. And
it was like you shifted timelines or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's...
I don't know. I was doing it all that 2 months. I was doing it on and off. It was driving me nuts.
I remember I used to be out listening to the radio and smoking weed, and would be off. This is before my total explosion I had in 78, 79. And I'd be driving. I would be somewhere and have absolutely no idea where I ended up. Totally unconscious, going out, driving way out up in Washington State, out in the woods. That's wild, though.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
What do you feel had experiences?
The
time slowing down one was awesome. That was beautiful.
So, do you feel that you were having?
I had a portal in my bedroom. Pardon?
You told me. So, what do you feel that was, or what do you feel created that?
The time slowing down,
or the time also where you were in a different timeline. You actually shifted timelines. It sounds like you were in a different time or
probably.
Maybe you were in an alternative reality that you were able to tune into without wanting to. Does that make sense? I've had things like that many years ago.
You know what the interesting thing about maybes are? Maybe it was just an imagination.
Maybe.
We don't work with maybes. Tracy had an experience, and I'm not going to take the experience away from you whatsoever. As much as we want to know that experience, I know for myself to explain something that Tracy has gone through is not going to be the easiest thing to do. How we experience our experience is not necessarily in the way that we want to hear the expression of that experience. It doesn't assist itself. When we when we state something to someone and say to them, maybe it was this, that's just giving them an idea of what it could be. That's creating an imagination that, it could have been that. So whether it was real or not afterwards, I'm not stating that. I believe that you actually, I think it's a little bit more than that. If you go back into that time itself that you feel when you're going through it, more than likely there's a blockage there that you have from a different time where it didn't have the spaces around you. You have blocked something. So when you drive past that place, it's the block is something that will trigger to remind you of something that will assist you today.
Wow.
That's all over the place, Steph.
Yeah.
Where I was.
Yes, it is a time that was a confusing time for you, and that confusing time comes as something that's not there anymore. So it feels like there's something missing. That's what it is. Your experience is your experience, but now what the timeline was, whether it was a timeline or not that you shifted in.
I believe it was making me understand the way time works, because that's what it did for me.
Well, that's
I was
it.
being
And then
shown the way that works.
that's what it is then. You see,
That's what I believe
all
it is. Because sometimes it would be different. I wouldn't understand why things were there. So I assumed that was further on in time. And other times, whole things would be missing. Trees were tiny. Garden beds that are in aren't in anymore. That was past. And once I accepted it for what it was, then I didn't get frightened by it.
How
and
about
there's something I need to know
what if it
about
was
that in future.
dimensional? What if it was
Yeah, it was
dimensional and what you saw a different dimension instead, just
Yeah,
working with
it was
that at
showing me
this
about
moment,
that.
which is existing at the
I've
same
had that
time, which you.
experience of sitting
So
in
you.
my body and literally feeling my whole body get pulled completely out and over to the left. And then I've gone, what the fuck? It was like a stretch. And then it's like my body's jumped over there as well. It was a weird feeling.
Have you seen there's a TV show called Fringe?
No.
Okay, if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's a terrific show and a lot to do with what you're speaking about right now. It is two universes that are colliding and they're actually overlapping each other. And as they're overlapping each other, people from the different dimensions are experiencing the different dimensions happening at real time. So the dimensions are overlapping. Now, if we're going to go into the topic of dimensions, each dimension is existing right now as we speak. We're in it. It's in us. It's around us. It's a different frequency. We every now and then tap into that frequency. A lot of our memories are based on dimensions of what somebody else that is part of us, which works at a different level again, that is experiencing that reality at that time. A lot of our dreams are based on those dimensions seeping into this dimension, which is not necessarily our experience, but it is our experience because, what was the other one? Jet Li, the one, if you saw that movie based on dimensions. Now, he was killing off his doppelgangers from each dimension. If you actually look at it as each dimension representing a life that you once experienced, so all he was doing was knocking them out and realizing that he's only one life and all those were experiences. So he's just killed the belief. That's all it really was. So we have experienced those dimensions. They're existing right this moment. We exist in them as we are speaking right this moment. In that dimension, there will be a conversation which is similar to this, which they will be aware that in this dimension, we're having the same conversation as they are at this moment. And they're aware we're having this conversation. So yes, that's how it works. I mean, we get into a paradox here and we're going to start going into the mind F's. Sorry, I was my tongue as well.
Reading and maybe some experience, but I like different timelines. I see it as like a river delta, and I talked about this before, and we chose this path, but that other one still exists, and maybe it exists in another dimension in real time, but we chose this path, this timeline, this route around through that river delta, all coming back to the same spirit.
You chose to focus on this part of it, but you're still experiencing the other part. It's like our thoughts. We have a lot of thoughts and a lot of memories. We choose to focus on a particular memory. Okay, so we're drawn to that one. It's the same with those dimensions, if you want to work with them on that. We are one, and we're experiencing all those possibilities, but we're focusing on this one. Our memories are in existence right this moment. We're just focusing on what we're discussing. That's why the memories don't have an effect. That's what it really is. We're focusing in this reality more than we're focusing on the others. And because we've put so much energy into this reality, and that's got a lot to do with conspiracies, which I don't want to go into, because we're focusing so much and we're putting all that energy into this reality, it's the reality we're experiencing. Those other ones are there. We are experiencing them just like we're experiencing our thoughts right now.
I suddenly understood when you said conspiracy, a whole volume opened up for me. Thanks for saying that, because that makes, as far as the current reality that we're experiencing, that we're agreed upon here,
Mm-hmm.
and how that came about. And you talked about it earlier about how things changed from Atlantis, and then we ended up in
Well, again, it's
now.
density, it's energies, it's frequencies. When we understand how frequencies work, and to acknowledge that the frequency is constant, even if you want to go from the point of the beginning itself, that point, if you just imagine it as a sphere, the moment that point began, we were that point that began. That point started to expand. We are at the expansion point. The expansion point is the now moment. The now moment is the point where there is nothing after this moment. There's nothing coming. It is unfolding. It's been created. That's
And
the edge that we sit on.
we choose or led into the creation that we experience. Holy shit.
No, we don't let anything, nor do we choose. See, again, when we try to comprehend something which is still based on the material aspect of our thoughts and our education does not show any of this, nor can it actually give you a vision of it. There is nothing to think about. There is only to experience. Thinking is an experience. How you think is just an experience. You're not that which you are doing, though. You're experiencing thinking. You're experiencing drinking coffee. Everything is an experience. What you want to believe is still an experience. But you're none of that. You're that which is doing all of that. And all of that which you're doing is in existence as you become aware of it being in existence, and how you yourself at this moment are literally not in control of what you're thinking and what you're saying, and allowing that which is in control to express itself. Not the idea that you have, that's which has the idea.
Yeah.
You are the idea, which is what you call yourself, Tom. The body is the idea. You have this thing called the body, named Tom. That which has is that which has the idea, but it is not the idea itself. It is experiencing the idea of what Tom is. Our true self, who requires to forget to experience. Without forgetting, we cannot experience, because we will just be the experience itself. Guys, I think it's getting a bit late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got things I'm going to have to do. Man, this has been
just saw
great.
what time.
This went in an entirely different direction than I think we were visualizing to begin with.
As I said at the beginning, let's just allow the moment to unfold. When we presume it's going to go a particular way, I've learned a long time ago, don't plan. Have an idea of how you want the show to go and what direction you want it to go, but allow it to unfold naturally. When something unfolds naturally, it is the most natural thing that can occur, a natural unfoldment. Where the discussion goes, what the topic is, how others are involved in it, where the energy is flowing, we flow with the energy. Does it feel nice? Does it feel right? Is it just flowing? Are we forcing it? You know, we're not forcing any of this, it's just coming through. When it's forced, you can feel the energy get a little bit heavy. When it's just flowing, it's a lot lighter.
Thank you, Tracy, for coming on and sharing your
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Tracy.
You're
welcome, my love.
Took over again. I got to stop.
That opened up a whole different area.
I'll stop playing with the cards. My new cards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to bed and get this child to sleep again.
Yep.
Yep.
How to
I'll place
finish
Discord link on there.
blowing up balloons
Yeah.
and
Thanks.
still
mate.
blowing balloons up.
Oh, really?
Just throw it in the chat, the link.
Yep.
Steph.
Yep. I'm going to do that now.
If you come before the show, I can throw up links into the show notes.
I don't think about it.
That's it.
I actually just thought about it now. So yeah.
Is that the same Discord link you gave me a long time ago?
Yes, you've jumped in a couple
You're
of times.
already in
You're in there. So you just.
I'm
need
going to
to
go
jump in
because
there.
there's some things, particularly the Gospel of St. Thomas, which I understand
Yeah.
he talks a lot about the light, the things I didn't want in the Bible.
Yes, there is some information there, and also the other thing I can mention is if you are looking for something in particular, I can track them down pretty easily. I do have
I'm going to go there. I spent
quick
too much
access.
time in there during when I played World of Warcraft, and I'm going to go through and check that site again. Now that I'm not chasing lives 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I find it hard. Like if you start doing that, then you just run out of your time to actually do stuff. It's like every time I go to Facebook, it's like 130. It's like 30 messages up, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look.
just too hard.
For me, consider Discord just a hub where I am aiming to just keep all the information in little rooms, little pockets, easy access. Yes, as more information comes on, it's going to be a lot further if you want something from the top, but it's all still in the same category. Facebook is great, connections and getting all those posts as they come along, but going back to them and finding them, unless you know exactly where they come, it's almost impossible. And I've learned someone recently this year, I've learned that you can actually save videos and posts on Facebook. Yeah, well, I didn't know that, so I started to learn to use that.
I didn't even know how I did it.
I've wanted to do that.
I've got things saved, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had that.
I'm like a Luddite. I need to have a computer adult do these things. Thank you. I'm going to go look at that resource again.
Cool, mate. You're welcome in there all the time. You're already in there. You're a member in there. You're all set up to just go in. It's open 24/7. So anybody that wants to join in, join in. It's open to everyone. Come in, say hello.
Pop my head in and go, hi, and then I leave.
Yep, everyone. And that's what it's for, to pop in, say hello, see if there's anything new in it, or if you feel that you want to add something to it, go ahead and do that as well. So until next time, everyone.
All right.
So until next
See
time,
you later.
yes.
Good night,
We'll
guys.
speak to you later. Hey, guys, anytime, we're around, then we can always speak as well offline. So enjoy yourselves. Take care. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey, Brooke, you take care, mate. Tom, thank you very much.
You too.
That's beautiful.
Always.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Hey, there she is. I wasn't sitting yesterday.
Okay,
Beautiful night, guys.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
See ya.
Bye, lovely.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, people, thank you very much. We might have some pop-up shows later. We got Sunday night. We've got Sunday morning in America. We got the Sunday chill show. We don't know. We might have a pop-up show between then. We never know. But until then, just remember, love is power, wisdom is truth, and the universe is one. See you later. Night.